Hey YouTube, coming at you with my second Jungle Cup team, and this one I did allude to yesterday. I told you what it was, but it comes from almost one of the first teams that I built when I was doing team building. Steelix, Vigoroth, and Mandibuzz. And so basically the thought process is Steelix is ranked number 1 in this meta, Vigoroth is the number 1 safe swap in this meta, and Mandibuzz, if you're double weak to fighting, it'd be nice to have at least one flyer. Plus Mandibuzz I think is very strong in this meta in the fact that there are not a ton of fairies and like not a ton of like ice and stuff, right? So I think Mandibuzz is very strong, and this team is very strong. As you saw, 10-1 on the thing. Started on 10 game. Actually, the one loss was my last one that I just kept going until I lost one. So 10-1. You will see Psychic Fang and Breaking Swipe. And the reason I did that, I don't think you need Earthquake. The recommended moveset is Psychic Fang's Crunch. The only problem with that, and the problem you're going to see for my opponents many times, is if you run Psychic Fangs and Crunch, you have nothing for Darks. And I think Darks are going to be quite a lot in this. Like I've seen a bunch of Mandibuzz, I've seen a bunch of Umbreon because of what I said. Like not a ton of fairies, not a ton of like ice for Mandibuzz and stuff like that, right? So I think having Breaking Swipe so you can actually throw a move is probably better. So we start with a bad lead there. Switch into my safe swap Vigoroth. I am going to bait one here. Bait the Rock Slide, go Body Slam, because that is double super effective. Rock Slide is double super effective, so able to just commit the shield. I think I double bait. Yeah, I end up double baiting here, because my thought process is like, a lot of the times when people bait one, they'll be like, okay, I've already got one shield, let's just take this out or grab the second shield. So they double shield, and they went for double nukes both times. Clearly I wasn't counting. This is just a Dragon Claw, so it's not going to take me out, but like there's no reason to take that damage if you don't have to. Like again, counting was good, but I do not do that. So and they catch on a Trevenant, so nice catch, but I will basically just not instant swap. What I will do is bank the Rock Slide again and come in here and just take these resisted moves all across the board here. Claw, Shadow Ball, Seed Bomb, all resisted. So I'm going for a very, very aggressive 50% snarl down here. And I get it, which is great because now I'm loaded with energy for whatever comes in. I'm basically throwing, I know they have Extra Drill and they know they have Charizard, so I'm probably just throwing Dark Pulse blind. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. I'm throwing Dark Pulse blind. Don't really care what comes in. Goodbye Charizard. Out comes the Extra Drill. This will do good chip. And once I chip here, like Vigoroth's down low, but it's basically, I feel like it's still in like almost Dragon Tail range. I think I catch a Rock Slide. But you're going to see like, resisted or not, Excadrill is so glassy. So it was basically in Dragon Tail range. Drill Run does one shot, but now I'm able to get to a move, and yeah. Tyranitar, Spicy, Vigoroth. The thing with the Vigoroth safe swap against this team is, like, Mandibuzz is a pretty good answer overall. Steelix is an interesting one because Steelix you take super effective from the counters, but at the same time you resist all the charge moves. You resist Body Slam and you resist Rock Slide. So from that perspective, I have at times, I don't forget, I'm assuming it was in one of these battles, like stayed in against Vigoroth and just took, or I got like switch locked against Vigoroth or something, and just like you take the resisted moves. It's not a terrible matchup. Like counters are obviously going to add up real quick, but you'll chip a bunch. Mandibuzz doesn't really have a matchup against Tyranitar, so I'm just kind of saving that because I don't know what's in the back yet. What is in the back is a Buzz Hole, so a counter, so a fighting and bug, which will be nice to have for the flyer. Once I got this low enough, I have a Pokemon that has two moves that can potentially nerf: Breaking Swipe and Psychic Fangs. I throw the Breaking Swipe because everyone's going to assume Crunch and Psychic Fangs. So I throw the first one just to show, hey, I got Breaking Swipe, and now you're low enough. I'm now going to lower your defense, right? So it's a bad combo for them. And then I can just kind of come with their defense lowered, super effective from counters, and this is just over. Brutal Swing does do a little bit of chip, but not enough. Steelix against a Whiscash. Again, a bad lead but that's okay. This is where Vigoroth comes in, and Mandibuzz has a good matchup too, but Vigoroth is a safe swap. You'll outpace them to the skull because it only takes 5. So this will do okay chip, like, yeah, still not 50%, but shield the Scald, and then potentially we'll see where we go from here. They get into their own Vigoroth. My attack did fall, which puts me at a pretty big disadvantage in this mirror match already behind a shield. This may be one where I come in steelix after. Yeah, because we CMP here. So I wouldn't be surprised if I just come in steelix and just Dragon Tail down, taking the counters, but not knowing that the Body Slam and thing is not going to do anything, and knowing steelix is kind of useless against Whiscash anyways. So yeah, just take these counters. Just don't worry about the move. That's fine. Get some energy. I wouldn't be surprised if I throw some of this energy at Whiscash. I'm throwing the Breaking Swipe. There's an argument that I should be throwing Psychic Fangs into anything neutral, especially that, and I catch a Mud Bomb, which is nice. What is the, because I think, let me just check the actual move differences here. So Altaria is a great lead, so they're going to have to get out. Lantern. I'm going to chip with Psychic Fangs, and then go into Vigoroth. Okay, so if you have Break and Swipe and you have Crunch and you have Psychic Fangs, okay, so there is more damage for Break and Swipe. So Break and Swipe, both 35 energy. Psychic Fangs is 40 damage for 1.14, which is terrible, but 100% chance of your opponent's defense being lowered. Break and Swipe is 50 damage, 1.43, not amazing, not really even really good, and a 50% chance of lowering your opponent's attack. That 50% hit, I think, 0% of the time when I threw it today. I think I threw it like 5 or 6 times, and I don't think I got one. Well, it feels like Scald, which is also 50%, hits like 90% of the time. So I don't know. But I guess if your Dragon Tail is doing 4.33 damage per turn, there's some instances where lowering their defense, depending on how many Dragon Tails you're going to get through, is probably better than than taking a chance with Breaking Swipe hitting. It's a little sort of hit and miss there, depending on what you want to do. But yeah, I just don't think there's a reason to do Crunch, honestly. The difference between Breaking Swipe and Crunch is 1.43 damage per energy and 1.56 damage per energy. So obviously Crunch is better, but just to get absolutely walled by Darks, I don't think it's worth it, quite honestly. They catch on the Altaria, but that's still a good chip. And then I could Dragon Tail down. How low are they? Is it worth throwing this? I think I throw this here because I think that lowering their defense is worth it. Let's see if that's the case. Oh, wait. It's worth throwing because they have no shields. That's another good reason. Okay. Bad lead again. There is quite a lot of, not surprising, Vigoroth and Whiscash in this meta. So Steelix is a little tricky from that perspective. I think it's still pretty good. Vigoroth is obviously so strong. If I'm building like a top team, maybe next week, that I want to use, Vigoroth is definitely one as a top Pokemon that I would use. I really like Mandibuzz too, quite honestly. Out of the 3 Pokemon I use, I think Steelix was kind of the worst. I really think Mandibuzz and Vigoroth have more play. I think Steelix is good, but man, just going against like a fighter or like a mud boy, it's just really rough. I mean, you can either say anything for Mandibuzz against a fairy, but there's a lot more ground and fighters than there are fairies in this meta, so you just need to take that in consideration. Is this a repeat? Or am I just playing it the exact same way? I'm playing it the exact same way, except now I'm going to stay in Shield. It is a different matchup because this did not happen last time. But taking them out and now just lowering their attack. And hello, notice that my opponent has a Steelix, and notice that I'm just going to stay in, lower its attack multiple times, force it to throw, and then you're going to know when I get out. Notice that they have absolutely nothing to throw at me. So they just threw a crunch at Steelix. If you have Psychic Fangs Break and Swipe, you have nothing to throw at Steels. Like, there is a trade-off there. It doesn't just go one way, Psychic Fang Break and Swipe. It could get walled as well, but Psychic Fang Crunch just does absolutely nothing to Mandibuzz. I know I can bait because I lowered their defense times 2 now and they have 2 shields. So I expect them to start using them when they have only 1 Pokemon left, and these snarls are actually adding up because I lowered your defense times 2. So they're trying to lower my defense, which they do. They're lowering. That's the second one. Now they're just trying to Dragon Claw me down, but Mandibuzz is way too tanky. And I'm going to get to these moves way too quick for them to do any sort of real threat to me. So yeah, I started with this 10-0, lost the last one, and then switched it up. I haven't found a team that I actually like yet for the... I tried Abomasnow, and I've tried Stunfisk, because both of them were intriguing to me, highly ranked. The thing with Abomasnow is I was just seeing so many Vigoroth and Skarmories when I ran it. So that was tough from that perspective. So I didn't do well there. And then Stunfisk, I just forgot how weak it is. Like with Galarian Stunfisk, you know that you're going to get some good damage with the Earthquake and Rock Slide. But with Unova Stunfisk, it really feels, you just feel so weak. So let me look up the differences between these two Stunfisk. So Galarian Stunfisk, what's its attack? So 2200 overall, 101, 127, 169. And what is Unova? 101, 127. Okay, so same stat product. It's just the moveset. So the moveset on Rock Slide, you get 75 damage. And on Earthquake, you get 132. Right? 75 and 132. But then you only get 72 and 78 on your Mud Bomb and Discharge. So your worst move in Rock Slide is essentially your best move on Stunfisk, Mud Bomb and Discharge, right? So just put that in perspective. Even if it's just neutral moves, imagine having a Galarian Stunfisk that can only do Rock Slide damage, right? It's not good. You need that Earthquake to make Stunfisk work well. If you had a Rock Slide Stunfisk with like Muddy Water or something, that would be a very bad Pokemon. And that's kind of what Unova Stunfisk has felt like. And I get why it can be strong in this meta. It's ranked number 10. You got Lanterns. Let's look at the wins here. Steelix, Toxicroak, Skarmory, Charjabug, Mandibuzz, which is I'm just showcasing here. But then like anything that I'll ignore the grass and the mud boys because those are obviously going to beat you no matter what. But even like neutral matchups like Lickitung, Vigoroth, like they all beat you. So I did a few battles with it and I haven't saved any of that. Like I haven't done anything that I'm going to want to showcase. So I don't have a team yet for tomorrow. I'll get one. Let me know in the comments below whether you want this or Ultra League. I'm in a really weird spots here because the top teams video for this and the video that I posted yesterday were my 2 highest videos for the past like week and a half. Yeah, right now this Clodsire very strong is ranked number 1 and the best Jungle Cup team is ranked number 2. And then the rest of them have not done well. So it seems like people are playing this and I feel like it's going to be people are going to play this for a few days, get bored of it, and then go away from it. And then it's going to be the only thing on next week with Master League. So it's tricky from that perspective. So I'll probably do maybe a couple more Jungle Cup teams. I'll probably do a few more Jungle Cup teams, but I'll save some till next week. And then maybe you'll throw in an Ultra League team here and there. See if I have any submitted videos that I should showcase. I got 3 more minutes battles, probably this one, and then probably the loss. The loss, I remember Toxicroak on the lead. And I think that's what really hurt me. It was Toxicroak lead. So I had to stay in, right? Because if I came on, Mandibuzz doesn't even have a good matchup against it. You don't throw aerial aces. Plus, they probably have an answer. So if you got out right away, they would have an answer, and then they would just kill your Vigoroth and your Steelix. So I stayed in with the Toxicroak you're going to see coming up. I stayed in, and it was a loss. I think it was a close loss, I think. But we'll check that out right now. I made a catch and farm down here. So that was nice. And then I'm pretty sure it was the Toxicroak lead. Yeah, Toxicroak lead. Again, you can't really leave. And you have Psychic Fangs, so it's not bad, right? You have a super effective Psychic Fang. They have a Mud Bomb, so you have to shield. But you have a super effective Psychic Fangs. Dragon Tails are going to add up. You're going to lower their defense. So it's a loss, but it's like, it's not the worst loss. But it's enough to like lose and give them some energy. And I don't have a good matchup in here, right? I come Vigoroth where counters resisted, and they're doing super effective. Or I come Mandibuzz where Snarls resisted, and they're doing neutral with counters. So it's not great either way, and that's probably the decision I'm making right now, thinking the Mandibuzz is better. And they have an Umbreon. And again, I think Darks are really, really strong in this meta, right? Here comes a counter user, but it's a counter user that's going to get very, very, very close loss just because of how bulky Umbreon is. This feels like an ABB style team weak to fighting. Toxicroak on the lead. You have Umbreon here that they auto-swapped into to try and draw out a fighter. I would not be surprised if they have like another thing weak to fighting in the back. Like a Steelix, or what else is weak to fighting in this meta? A normal typing. I doubt that you go double dark with a Toxicroak, so it's probably going to be like a Steelix or like a normal typing in the back here. Hello. Yeah, it's a very easy team comp to read. I actually didn't even remember this, what it was, but it's a very easy team comp to read. Because there's no reason for Toxicroak. There's no reason for Toxicroak to give up that switch there unless you want to try and draw out a fighter. And that's exactly what they did. Like, you draw out a fighter with your Umbreon. You could even write Psychic on. Again, that's very risky. I'd probably run Last Resort. I was thinking about it when I saw I have two Umbreons. I have a Last Resort and I have a Psychic. You can run the Psychic. You can run Last Resort Psychic. You can run Foul Play Psychic and try and draw out like a fighter that is like not Umbreon, because Umbreon's, wow, not Vigoroth, because Vigoroth is normal typing. If you try and draw out like a Toxicroak or something and maybe sneak them with a Psychic, that is a play. Again, you could also get hit with a Mandibuzz, or you could get hit with a fellow Umbreon or something that resists both Psychic and Dark. So it's a little riskier to do that, but Psychic, there's very, very few metas that Psychic Umbreon has play in, and I think this could potentially be one of them. So anyways, that is it. That's a team, very, very strong team. Like I said, I would not be surprised if next week when this is on with Master League that I go back to something similar with Mandibuzz Vigoroth. I think it was just a really, really strong combo. Both very, very strong Pokemon. So yeah, I will definitely do something probably with those two in the future. But for now, we'll try and figure out what other Pokemon I have to put teams together for the next few days. Maybe do some Ultra League, see if there's any battles submitted. Maybe I'll do like a one-off video just to like switch it up and bank some of these teams for next week, since I know I need to use them next week. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.